do it again. They win at Chicago 6-2, and they improve their record to 17-4-3. Just simply ridiculous. And they have the best point percentage in the NHL. 7-game winning streak. They've won 11 of their last 12. There's definitely something special going on here, for sure. And here's the thing. I mean, the Metropolitan Division is very, very, very competitive, where you have teams like the Washington Capitals, Carolina Hurricanes, Pittsburgh Penguins. You know, as it pertains to like the New York Islanders, they finally ended their 11-game losing streak. So, you know, they've certainly had their fair share of success the last few years, so can't count them out. So, you know, it's going to be difficult. But look, they're off to an amazing start. There's no question that Gerard Gallant has really galvanized this group. And what's crazy, too, is, you know, Pavel Buchnevich isn't even a part of this. He's having a great season with the St. Louis Blues, which is not at all surprising to me. Like, they lost Buchnevich, and even still, they're putting up this incredible season. And Mika Zibanejad has had a horrible season. I mean, truly. Don't look at the statistics. They're misleading. He has really been bad. And yet the Rangers just continue to win. Shesterkin's been out the last few games. Georgiev has stepped up and come through, mainly against the Blackhawks, a little bit against the Sharks when he came in. And this is also with like players like Alexis Lafreniere still not really quite finding his game in the NHL. So there's reason to think this could get better, not from a record perspective. I mean, they're really winning at a ridiculous rate, but still, it's very exciting. And I kind of view tomorrow's game against Colorado kind of playing with house money a little bit. Like, we'll see if it's Georgiev on a back-to-back or Adam Huska. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. I think it's Huska, Huska, who's never played in the NHL. That'd be a tough spot to put the kid in for his first National Hockey League game against, you know, really sound offensive club in the Colorado Avalanche, who got off to a rough start, but, you know, have really picked it up lately. So I tend to think that they go Georgiev again, but I guess I wouldn't be surprised by anything. But this Chicago game was a pretty crazy one. And keep in mind, the Rangers had beat Chicago the last game the Rangers played at the Garden, and what was a pretty good game. And then Chicago beat the Islanders the next night. This game got off to a fast start. A lot was going on. And let's start with really the goals. Well, the story of this game is Artemi Panarin. That is first and foremost. Against his former team, he picks up his 500th NHL point, and then he, for good measure, put up 3 more points. So it was a 4-point night for Panarin, 2 goals, 2 assists. And the Rangers denied Marc-Andre Fleury of his 500th NHL win in the process. So Fleury was in goal for the Blackhawks in this one. But, you know, Panarin's been simply brilliant. I believe he's now on a 100-plus point pace. And he got off to a cold start. Like, him and Zibanejad were, and it couldn't be any different now. Panarin is, you know, his red-hot self, like we're accustomed to seeing, and Mika's continue to be poor. But the other guy is Jacob Trouba. So Jacob Trouba in this one gets a Gordie Howe hat trick. And the way it got there is a little bit sad, I suppose. It's what happens in the second period is Jujhar Khaira had his head down, and Jacob Trouba put a pretty big hit on him. And that's, you know, a big part of Trouba's game. He's not a dirty player. He's a bit, you know, he's big. He likes to hit. And unfortunately, Khaira's head was down. It was an ugly scene. He wasn't really moving at first, but I think everything's going to be all right, you know, in terms of, you know, I'm not sure what's going to happen as far as hockey, but just in terms of real life, you know, Khaira seems like he'll be okay, which is good and a relief. It was a pretty tough to watch. We'll see if there's any. I mean, there was no penalty on the play. There was some head contact. Trouba, you know, did not launch himself or anything. It was a fairly clean hit, but could there be a suspension coming his way? With the NHL, you just simply don't know. Honestly, anything's possible. Like if Khaira hadn't been hurt, I don't think there would be any chances of a suspension, but because of what happened, maybe he doesn't have a – I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm not sure if Trouba was ever suspended in Winnipeg. I guess it's possible that he could have been. He hasn't been as a Ranger, to my knowledge. So we'll see. But Trouba, beyond just the physical play, has really chipped in a major way offensively. He really looks a lot better. Trouba at 101, so right away, scores his 5th goal of the season. And Trouba, like, he's really turned that part of his game around too. Remember, this was a 50-point player in Winnipeg. I don't think he'll ever reach that again. Many reasons for that. Like, he doesn't really get power play time. But look, 5 goals, 7 assists. I'll take that. So Trouba gets his 5th goal of the season from Panarin. So that was his 500th point of his career. Gets it right away a minute in. And Ryan Strome gets the other assist. So Strome, like, that line continues to roll. The Strome and Panarin chemistry is really undeniable. And it's gotten to the point now where Ryan Strome, where I think a lot of us felt like, well, myself included, like, well, this will be Strome's last year as a Ranger. I don't know. Like, the Strome-Panarin duo, it really is something special, to the point where I don't know if Panarin would be able to play like this way with even Zibanejad. I know Zibanejad's struggling now, so it's easy to say that. Or let's say Filipino. I don't think it would work. So I think Strome, has become an important piece. Now, here is, the negatives that happened in this game, and both of them were like lost faceoffs leading to goals. Eric Gustafsson scores 43 seconds after the Trouba goal, and this is a faceoff lost by Filipino. He's not very good at faceoffs, and it's a goal. It didn't look like a great goal by Georgiev, but to be fair to him, Patrick Nemeth did screen him. So I'm not sure if Georgiev even ever saw the puck, but it goes in, makes it 1-1. Then the Blackhawks take a lead 2-1. It's a goal by Kirby Dach, 7:09 of the first period, and it was a lost faceoff by Zibanejad that leads to a goal. We've seen that this year where the Rangers, and it just goes to show how well the Rangers play defensively in the flow of the game. But when it comes to, losing the faceoff in the defensive zone, that has definitely, bit the Rangers in the ass plenty of times. They're just not – they're not a good faceoff team, and they haven't been for some time. So not a great period by the Rangers. They're down 2-1 going in the second. But what was a really strong point this game and recently was the special teams. The Rangers were 2 for 2 on the power play, and they were successful in all 4 times when they're on the penalty kill. So perfect night for power play and penalty kill. So it would be a penalty by Henrik Borgstrom as he hooks Nils Lundqvist. And I thought that Nils Lundqvist actually played a halfway decent game too. I thought his game is slowly improving. And it would be a game-time goal by Artemi Panarin. Panarin scores. It's another point for Panarin. Assists to Zibanejad and Kreider. So that makes it 2-2. And then eventually in the second period is when everything happens as far as the Trouba hit on Kara, as we discussed. And then there was a bunch of penalties. Panarin takes a penalty. Rangers kill it off. Then Trouba fights. Riley Stillman fights Trouba. Trouba pretty much kicked his ass. But that's what happens in that situation. Just the way that hockey goes. And so they fight, and then a few more penalties by the Rangers, but again, they kill him off. Dryden Hunt high sticking, and then at the end of the period, Keandre Miller guilty of a tripping penalty, which goes into the third period, but the Rangers kill that off. And then in the third, Capo Caco draws a slashing penalty from Kirby Dach, and that leads to what would be the game-winning goal, a power play goal, 17th goal of the season for Chris Kreider. I mean, that net front presence is just brilliant, spectacular. And the assist would go to Fox and Panarin. So Adam Fox, it was a shot by Fox. He gets it through, which he's good at. And Kreider with the deflection goes in, gives the Rangers a 3-2 lead. But the Rangers would then take another penalty. It'd be Trouba, and the Rangers would kill it off. And then this is when the fourth line comes into play. So the fourth line, who we saw against the Islanders score some goals. They've had their moments this year. It'd be Kevin Rooney, scoring his 6th goal of the season. So again, Kevin Rooney chipping in 6 goals. Another assist to Fox with a nice pass. And Ryan Reeves. And that would be the first of 2 points for Ryan Reeves. So this was, very similar to an Islander game. And Ryan Reeves has just been, he is like really holding his own just in terms of playing the game. This is not some goon who just doesn't know how to play. Ryan Reeves is helping in more ways than one. So Rudy makes it 4-2. That was a really big goal. And then the Blackhawks pull the goalie early, and Panarin scores an empty net goal from Trouba, giving Trouba a Gordie Howe hat trick. And Zibanejad gets the other assist. Honestly, it looked like it should have gone to Kakko. It goes to Zibanejad. Zibanejad just picking up more points where he just doesn't really deserve it. But there you go. That makes it 5-2. And then there would be a bunch of activity going on where I believe it was Ryan Carpenter, yes, who would board Dryden Hunt. Hunt would be fine. And Ryan Strome, defending his teammate, comes in there and fights Ryan Carpenter. And we've seen that from Strome. I mean, he's definitely one of the leaders on the team. He's not afraid to drop the gloves, even though you wouldn't think that would be his style. There was a fight that happens there. And then, for good measure, before the game's out, it's another goal for the fourth line. Barclay Goodrow scores his fourth goal of the season from Reeves, so another assist from Reeves, and Kevin Rooney. So that makes it 6-2 Rangers, and that would be the final score. So this was a game where, Panarin is the star of the game. You get the game-winning goal by Kreider. Adam Fox he was great offensively and defensively. I think Fox was one of the best players of the game. Obviously, the fourth line. Trouba doing everything he did. And so the Rangers win again. So it's pretty remarkable, and you got to enjoy it as a Ranger fan. It's things like this don't happen too often. They're 17-4-3. It's just it's really hard to believe, but everything's just coming together, and we'll see if the Rangers. This will be a tough test. Like I am, and again, we're going to see who is in net for the Rangers. But Colorado's playing pretty well lately. I think that you can beat them. They have some defensive deficiencies and goaltending. They have their own set of injuries. So this could be a high-scoring game. But if the Rangers can win this one, I don't know. Maybe this winning streak can really continue. Because the Rangers do play Buffalo after they play Colorado. So we'll see. I would not be. Obviously you never want the winning streak to end, but if they do lose to Colorado, it would be very understandable. But with Gerard Gallant, he really demands, excellence, and they play hard for him. So I would expect the Rangers to give it their best shot, and who knows, maybe they'll be able to do it. So again, Rangers win. They beat the Blackhawks at the Garden and at the United Center in Chicago, as the Rangers have now won 7 straight.